welcome to this week's episode of Transistor Radio. And unlike any other week we've ever done, we actually have good audio. This is honestly shocking. We got, almost called you John. We got Jordan, Dylan, and Doug in studio at SCSP.
Shout out Eric Schmidt. We appreciate your lovely podcast booth.
Your dollars are hard at work.
Yeah. And if you want to make them work harder, we have other ideas too. Okay? Hit us up at Semi-Analysis. You know where to ring us.
You have my email.
You got my email.
Dude, the craziest thing is I one time had like an hour and a half long conversation with him on the AITCO while he was in his plane the whole time.
Dude.
And his video quality was good. And I was like, damn, I guess this is like what rich people internet is.
This
in
is
the
what
air.
Starlink is for.
Because I think it was pre-Starlink. No, it was 23. It was probably Starlink, maybe.
Yeah.
I don't know. But he was just like flying, and it's like we got him all educated on NeoCloud stuff. But it was just really interesting that his internet quality was so good. Also, his seat quality, like it was such a comfortable looking seat.
Yeah.
Like here's the thing, right? People talk about, I want to be rich enough for a private jet. I also want to be rich enough for a private jet, to be clear. But these private jets, like there are levels to this shit.
Yeah,
right?
there are
like,
levels.
There are
to
there are like the few $1 million the shit tier.
The irony though about the Qatari jet is it was like not good enough for their Emirate, and they were like selling it because it was used goods.
What the heck? I didn't know
Wait,
that.
what?
Yeah, no,
Trump's jet.
Yeah, Trump's jet. They had it on the market for 3 years, and they like couldn't offload it.
Is it like
no one wanted
super
the jet.
luxuriously interior designed?
No, I just think
There's probably like gold-plated fucking seats, dude. He probably shits on fucking gold, dude.
Yeah, thank you.
And the engineer was probably like, well, if you make it a gold-plated seat, the toilet's going to be heavier instead of being a shitty plastic one. It's going to be heavier. It's going to make our fuel economy worse. And the Qatari prince is like, and?
Yeah. Wow, this is
I'll take your passport if you don't do this.
Okay, this is a very amazing start to this episode.
Public service announcement. So we're trying to be the change we want to see in the world. Trying to put together a letter saying that maybe we shouldn't cut basic science funding by half, and maybe we should still have OPT and international students in America.
Speak for yourself. You're USAID funded.
If you're, I wish. But I mean, no one. Excuse me, no one is anymore, Dylan. If you're an AI researcher and want to defend science
Jordan,
in universities,
I gotta stop you. You know, someone in our company, in our Slack, constantly, like, anytime your name comes up, he's like, I thought he was gone now that USAID is pulled because I made that one tweet about you being USAID funded as a joke, and he like legitimately thinks.
Don't cry for me. Cry for the Malawis who are like
but
getting
seriously,
malaria now.
Like, we need immigration.
Yeah,
we need high skilled immigration, like really fucking bad.
I mean,
and we need all these PhDs to be funded. I don't know if I told you. I think I said this on our prior Transistor Radio. A girl I went on a date with, she literally like had to cancel her PhD. It's like now it's hitting close to home. Now it's hitting close to home.
When
now
it's brown women affecting Dylan Patel, all of a sudden, man locks in. He's like, okay, I gotta find my PhD waifu. Like everything's changed.
They're rapidly evaporating from the market. This is a crisis of national proportions.
There's a billion person, maybe 500 million person pipeline in potential in TAM that is being cut in half. It's being murdered. Dylan's TAM is getting destroyed.
Brother, if we had 250 million PhD students, that'd be absurd.
Yeah, some would say that'd be pretty awesome.
We'll get there.
I don't think so because PhDs by and large don't do shit.
Yeah,
but they do a lot of.
But
fun
they do
research.
enough to create the
research.
future, which is what we need to preserve.
I actually
let me good bio PhDs, good computer science, good ML, good like material science, those kind of PhDs, awesome.
Yeah,
humanities PhDs.
We're talking about
we're
talking about NSF.
Yes,
we're only talking about we're only talking about science.
Math, physics funding in 2025 is being funded at half the rate it was funded in 2024.
You guys, okay, so
there's no woke in that. These are numbers.
So actually, I have a even hotter take. Sorry, but PhDs are good for the economy because essentially they're slave labor. Any PhD student you talk to, they get paid stipends to work their little asses off to do all these researchers. And the only way we can compete with China is to pay them less and work them harder and make them all do PhD programs. So what we need is 100 million PhDs. That's the answer. Think about how good this would be for the economy, dude. We'll
This
put,
is how we're suppressing consumption.
Exactly.
It's just like
we
keeping
become
people in grad school.
Because here's what happens is like as China becomes a consumption-based economy, we have to become an investment-based economy. So what we need to do is we need to have miles and miles and miles of PhD bunk beds. Okay, they're living in camps.
And these PhDs, they're not researching; they're assembling iPhones
They're
in America.
assembling iPhones. Yeah, it's physical hand delivered. No, I don't know.
Mechanical engineering PhDs now assemble iPhones in America.
It's
Yeah.
the,
And hey, if they're 13 years old and they're child labor, that's fine.
yeah, it's like the back to the countryside theory of mechanical
Yeah.
engineering. First,
Yeah.
we will have you assemble iPhones for 10 years. Only then will we teach you equations.
100%.
Let's go back to the actual topic, right? Which is immigration. Let's reform it.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
sorry. Funding for science. Let's reform it.
Yeah. We need, I mean, Jensen says 50% of the AI researchers are in China. This number is probably true. And my favorite thing that keep psyoping and fearing people into stuff is like, go to a STEM conference in the United States. It's a ton of old dudes who are in their 50s. Go to a STEM conference in Asia, and it's like, I mean, and maybe because they're beautiful skin, you can't age them, but they look like there's 20-year-olds as far as the eye can see, 25-year-olds, and they outnumber the white people by like 10-1, and you're like, okay, maybe these guys don't know what they're doing.
Well, hold
today.
on. No one on this podcast is white, right? Because we've already decided that Jews aren't white, so Jordan's not white.
Not getting into this.
Oh my.
And then Doug's not white. He's only half
ha-
white,
yeah,
right?
only-
He's half
only
Asian.
half, yeah.
And then John's full Asian, and then I'm Indian. So like this is the not white guy podcast.
Welcome to Transistor
Sure.
Radio.
Anyways, in conclusion, if you're an AI researcher and you want to sign a letter saying we like immigrants and we like science and NSF help you in your journey, DM me. I'm out there.
Okay, but my favorite part about this is what is this Transistor Radio or is this going to ChinaTalk? It's like like all thousand of I think there might be multiple thousands, thousands.
I think
of,
it's like 10,000 viewers for
consistently.
something like that.
3,500.
That's
Yeah.
just Spotify though, right? Are we putting it elsewhere?
Yeah, John, get to work.
We have a YouTube channel.
Oh, what?
Wow.
Don't talk to me until there's a TikTok, all right?
Okay. Wow.
Wait, Jordan, there's a ChinaTalk TikTok, right?
Yeah.
I
we
know.
told him
We
last
got
night.
our clips guy. He's hard at work.
Yeah.
Okay, I from what I heard,
Shout out to Abraham.
from what I heard, the TikTok was made without your approval.
No. Sign of the times.
was fake news.
Look, Trump's.
At some point, it was made without your approval, and then you approved it.
Neither confirm or deny, but I don't know. I was anti it for a while, and now I'm just a slave
He's
to the
numb to it.
algorithm.
Oh, Doug keeps telling me like, "Hey, let's do social media, all this, right?" I'm like, "Great," but the one I won't allow is Blue Sky. We're not going on Blue Sky.
So I want to do our quarterly AI mandate of heaven check-in. Last off in the D tier, we had Meta and XAI. Any updates on either of them?
Honestly,
Meta stays there, but XAI is moving up.
Yeah, XAI
Move
C
it up.
tier. Yeah.
Rock 3 was fucking fire.
Yeah. And I don't know, just Meta just stays in the D tier. Yeah, RP.
I'm hopeful actually. I've heard some good things.
Hope springs eternal.
Since
They're like
the
Intel.
DeepSeek catastrophe and the Meta 4 debacle, Llama 4, I've heard about a lot of good things.
And they've got enough money to keep taking swings. It's not like
Yeah.
they're gonna throw in the towel anytime
Well,
soon.
I also
I mean,
wanna
like, okay, let's be clear. Like, we gotta add Apple to this, and Apple is an F minus minus minus.
Yeah. I guess there is no E tier, right? We'll just do F tier.
Okay.
Or L tier. How's that sound?
Yeah,
tier.
I mean, at least they're on the chart. They didn't even make it last time.
Yeah.
So this is kind of an upgrade.
we remembered them this time.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's only because you've been staring at your iPhone for the last 10 minutes trying to bring up this topic.
Yeah.
While Doug and I go off rail.
Okay, so another thing too. Let's specifically say, it's not like Meta doesn't cook. They're just like cooking in a way they have incentives for. A lot of the GPU spending on Rexus, specifically for their algorithms, are like definitely paying off. There's a lot of ways to measure this, but like CPM is magically continues to go up, which it shouldn't if there's more impressions. Like, their revenue from the GPUs that they are essentially shoving down into these giant. And MTI and stuff like that is it's helping. Revenue isn't not inflecting, but it is like
Also, like
getting
more
less.
than like what, like 60% of GPU spend is
Yeah.
Rexus.
We'll
It's
just
not-
say 50 plus. Yeah, so half plus. yeah.
Breakfast for the uninitiated is the ad.
Recommendation systems.
So
for,
what story shows up first when you open up Instagram? Why is it the girl that you have a crush on? You know.
Yeah.
What post shows up?
Yeah.
Why is it the meme that has like alt-right tendencies? You know why
Yeah.
why is the ad that shows up one about like how to last longer in bed?
Yeah.
It's like this is all the.
How do
Rexes.
they know? How do they know your secret unspoken desires just from one glance, just from one pause on a feed?
God,
like,
everyone's gonna think that's my actual Instagram.
It is.
But I don't know.
I can confirm. I can confirm. No.
You did say it was unhinged. It's an unhinged feed.
Dude, my actually, you know what's funny is Rake, one of our analysts, he like was scrolling through his Instagram feed and he saw something that I liked and he's like, dude, this is the most like unhinged brain rot I've ever seen. I was like, yeah, dude, you want to see my feed? And I just occasionally send stuff to him, but he's like, what the fuck is your problem? I'm like, I don't know. So yeah. But like our Gen Z
can you
analyst,
post
he's like, dude, what the hell is this brain rot? And I'm like, what's up, dude? Doug at Semiosis. I love the brain rot from. But that's where all those GPUs are going, to feed and give you your nourishing brain rot every single day.
Which makes sense.
Yeah.
I mean, it matters more than
It's
getting llama right. Like,
yeah, it's slop. The engagement slop works. The incentives are showing.
Define the difference between slop and brain rot for those in the audience who don't understand.
Honestly, I couldn't, but I understand the difference. Like,
I think brain rot's more addictive. I think
Brain rot
slop you can notice and move away from.
Yeah, slop. You're like,
Is
oh.
brain
Interesting.
rot
I thi-
identified?
I think slop is a broader category and brain rot is a subcategory of slop.
Okay, in the slopiverse, which I really want to term, like I think AI will create the slopiverse because it's just gonna create so much slop, like so much slop, more than you could ever imagine.
Do you think we'll ever get to a point where like slop stops growing and we maybe call it like sloppy toppy? Like,
Fucking Christ, Dylan.
Can-
All right, I gotta transition.
Can you put an analyst
Okay,
on this, Dylan? Can you put an analyst on this?
Speaking
I
of the
wanna hear
the
slopiverse,
slop, the slop analyst.
Speaking of the slopiverse,
slop.
in C tier we have Google, who I feel like needs a
we'll give
little
him
boost
B.
at this point. But and we got a big.
Yeah, we'll give him B. Is that 2.5?
Google?
VO3?
Bro, I was
Dude,
gonna
I would say
Google's
S.
S.
I would say A or
Okay.
S.
I was
wait,
gonna say
wait.
Google's S, bro.
Okay, wait.
I
thought
was
we were doing.
fucking sick.
That's fair. Okay, I forgot. But VO2.
Oh, they're A. They're not A. I don't want to go.
Well, yeah.
I don't wanna go
We'll
S.
go A. We'll go A. And then they have like
Can you show us
an A plus? Like, you know, if we're yeah. Okay, sorry. My
All right, so
bad.
should we just recap? All right, so last time we had
Yeah, let's-
Google and DeepSeek in B tier, Anthropic A tier, and OpenAI S tier.
Yeah, we'll definitely do A tier.
Yeah. I think this is really tough because Claude 4 is fucking fire. So
But-
Grok is B, definitely up from C to D. Meta's still D. Apple is introduced to the L tier.
L tier, yeah.
But then OpenAI, Anthropic, and Google all are doing really well.
Yeah, we had a great month.
What a great
Like-
month. Well, then the problem is
Actually,
this feels
OpenAI
like
didn't release anything, did they?
This feels like inflation, though.
Did
Is-
OpenAI
can,
release
can
anything?
everything be A? No, we got.
Well, we need one king. We need one company with the mandate of heaven.
Who is the
I think O3 is still the fucking
I think
best.
O3 is still the best.
But Opus 4 is incredible. And then 2.5 has just like done so much.
2.5 is the Pareto curve for really freaking cheap and good. There's a chart that we have or whatever, we published it somewhere in one of our products, talking about how like it's the price to performance. Google is always on the curve. Essentially, they set the curve of the best possible performance at any given price.
Yeah.
So,
But nowadays their performance is like only N-1.
yeah,
Right? Like they don't have an O3 Claude 4, but like they have like 3.7 tier coding,
yeah,
right?
yeah,
No one's got anything close to VO. I mean that.
yeah. That's true.
That was a
VO
fun 5-hour
VO
rabbit hole dive.
You spent 5 hours with VO.
Yeah, man.
Wait, did you
What were you
upload? So
doing
have
in
you
those 5
uploaded
hours?
videos, images of yourself, and then said turn it into a rap video? It's so good.
Wait, when I was using it, they only let
Dylan,
you do
did
that
you
for
do
VO2,
that?
not VO3.
I didn't, but someone else did and sent it to me.
Okay.
Well, they
Okay.
emailed it to me, and the best part is like Michelle thought it was noteworthy, so she put it in my Slack DMs, and I'm like, "What is this?"
Well,
And
I
then she's
feel
like,
guys-
"Oh, Dan sent it to you, who's like works at Google," and I'm like, "Okay."
Yeah, because they don't have that feature public. You can't for VO3. You can't give it.
okay. Like a prompt or
Yeah,
something.
you can't give it you can only give it text prompts, not video or image prompts.
Oh,
Which has
okay.
been really frustrating because like I really wanted to have Ezra Klein interviewing Mao as like the ultimate Ezra Klein video podcast, and it only let me do that with VO2. I don't know.
Okay. Also, so sorry. The B tier. Is anyone in the B tier then?
I think DeepSeek and
This is where
I think DeepSeek and Grok are in the same tier, even though Grok's model is it's no longer better. Oh fuck! I forgot R10528.
Yeah.
Jesus.
How dare I was about to say.
We kind of skipped all the Chinese players, didn't we?
Yeah, I was gonna
Anyways?
say. Are we gonna add?
So
are we gonna-
Alibaba C,
yeah, Alibaba C.
DeepSeek B, or maybe A. Fuck.
I know, but that's what I'm saying. There's so many A players. The inflation's insane. That's what I was saying. Is like we got.
But like because you know the target is average is like C or D. By introducing Apple as an L,
Oh, yeah.
you know we've
We're
maintained.
doing a
You're
There's
right.
more
You're,
space on the high
you're
end.
right. You're right. The barbell's correct. Okay. Well, we should add the Chinese players. So we'll do Alibaba and then
Alibaba C, I think, is fair.
yeah, Alibaba
Okay.
C is fair.
Because Quen is currently better than Llama, but it's not like absurdly better. It's just like
Yeah.
barely better.
But it's improving at scary rate.
DeepSeek, are they A now? R10528 is good.
So we have 3 A players and a S player. Is that what it is?
Yeah, but I don't think DeepSeek is as good as Claude 4 or Google's models.
But they don't have. Well,
But
they do
they're
have
constrained on compute, you know.
Yeah.
They're because of the removal of diffusion, they're now renting GPUs in Thailand, in Malaysia, in the US in Europe as well.
Yeah. What's the? Is there a ByteDance model on Micro?
A ByteDance what?
A ByteDance model?
ByteDance has models, yeah,
But
but
it's
I don't
like-
know what they're doing.
Yeah, because I thought.
They have a product, but I don't.
Well, I know they
if
have a
they're-
product.
I've
yeah.
never seen evals for their models.
Yeah, but like
Yeah.
you'd think with all the anyway, maybe that's just.
Well, no,
TikTok.
it's like
TikTok,
it's like
It's like a
all of it is
Facebook
Rexus.
S dynamic.
Yeah.
Yeah. Like
Maybe
Also, just to be clear,
Well-
the character on Transistor Radio / ChinaTalk is just a character. I'm a normal person.
Yeah. Sorry, that was too easy.
No, I could be professional, man. I even have a blazer today.
He does have a blazer.
It's not a.
we got another topic.
Back to back to ByteDance.
Oh, Tencent, bro. Where's
oh
Tencent?
yeah. That's what. Okay, so yeah, Tencent.
Tencent, ByteDance are like.
Tense another L.
Are they
tier?
L? Are they L? No, I think they're better than that.
No.
I think they're
Or
better.
Ernie is Tencent,
Tencent
right?
just
Yeah,
adopted
Ernie.
No,
DeepSeek
Ernie's
stuff, right?
Ernie's Baidu.
Oh, Baidu. Okay, Baidu will put like below. We'll put like
D?
F tier.
F.
Yeah, I think Baidu will put F tier.
Okay.
Again, that's a promotion. If you're Baidu, you weren't on the list last time. You should be proud of yourself.
Why are you pandering to Baidu right now?
Dude,
know.
it's
They
China
listen
talk.
to the
He no longer has
pod.
U.S. aid funding. He has to get
Oh,
funding
okay.
from the big fund
Okay.
in China.
This is this goes on ChinaTalk. Sorry. Anyways, yeah. So Baidu is now, yeah, and then who else we got?
What's
Tencent
next for OpenAI?
I mean,
don't know.
you can't go up from S, right? Like,
Cooking GPUs?
No, but they got real competition now. We've got.
04 is gonna be a banger, bro.
Okay.
Do you know?
I heard some stuff yesterday about the successor to
What about?
to Orion. I'm excited. I'm
Okay, yeah, I
excited.
was gonna. Okay, that was actually my question. When do we know is the next big run? I mean, it should be like.
I mean, they're just doing RL runs constantly, right?
Yeah.
But
I
they have
want-
a pre-training run as well as like a big RL run, big RL runs, and like yeah. I mean, I think
want-
like 04 like the scale of compute for those runs is still quite small relative to like the size of an Orion pre-training run, or not quite small. It's like getting up there, right? Like Orion being GPT 4.5, being like the most expensive training run ever.
Is this Middle East stuff? It's just all inference, right? You can't train a model half in Texas and half in
Yeah, you can.
the UAE. Really?
RL from our scaling laws post where everyone was like, oh, scaling laws are dead. He's like, no, you idiot, they're not dead. Pre-training, hard to distribute across continents. You can do it across data centers. You have dickloads of fiber between them.
Yeah.
Right. But hence like the $10+ billion of deals with all the fiber companies that lease companies have done. But with RL, right, reinforcement learning, but verifiable rewards, you can do the token generation and verification in anywhere in the world and then you're not streaming weights and activations. You're
Yeah.
streaming just final tokens that were verified. So very little data relatively, right? And those tokens can be today they're text, but they can be actions, images, videos, etc. as well as we move forward. But like,
Yeah.
you can stream this across data centers, and the bandwidth requirements are not that insane. And so OpenAI is totally going to train in the Middle East, right? For people who don't, and they're not going to do pre-training in the Middle East, but they're going to
Do
generate
our own.
tokens
Yeah.
and verify them in the Middle East and then send them back.
Okay. Should we recap?
Yeah. Recap it from the top.
OpenAI S tier, Google, DeepSeek, Anthropic A tier, B tier has no one, it has Grok.
Yeah.
C tier has Alibaba, D tier has Meta, F tier has
Baidu.
ByteDance, L tier has Apple.
Yeah. Oh, we forgot Baidu also F tier. Right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Ernie? No, I think Baidu's
Where?
worse. I think Baidu's worse.
F tier.
Yeah, okay, fine.
L tiers.
Where does Mistral go?
Somewhere between L and F.
No, we'll give him F tier.
Ooh.
Okay, fine. We'll give him F tier. We'll give Mistral F tier.
F for France.
All right. Lock that down for next quarter.
Let's get some
There's an
Doug
event
Dillon
happening.
DC impressions. How's our
For dealing and
how's our
wheeling.
national
So we
security
hosted,
establishment?
we co-hosted a event yesterday.
Oh yeah, we had like 125 people.
It was sick.
That's
Great. Great energy.
And it was an event that we didn't have to pay for, which is great because it's interesting because this one was free, you know.
Yeah.
And I do think you get what you pay for. I'm just kidding. It was good. It was good. It was good.
It's called distributed meetup.
Yeah.
No, it was good. It was at a beer garden. I think there were a lot of people who believe that the Senate bill for
Chip Security Act.
Chip Security Act is a good idea, and I think they're all completely wrong.
It's hey, you want to go through the reasoning, but to be clear, my vibe from the chip security thing is it feels like it's happening. That's all I got.
So in and of itself, it's actually not a bad thing. It's just useless, right? Like these things won't actually work. Phoning home doesn't work. You can spoof that super easily. Re-exporting is super easy. They're like, oh, but the first time you turn it on, it'll phone home. It's like, yeah, the first time you turn it on, turns on in China, and the IP tunnels to wherever the fuck you want in Europe or LATAM or Asia or Middle East. and it's fine.
By the way, my impression is literally the plan is, yeah, they know they're gonna they're not gonna catch it, but they just need someone to mess up once, and they're like, see, there is smuggling. That's why we need even more tighter controls.
So I think it's the flip side though, right? Like, which is, we already know there's smuggling. You can buy. Like,
To be clear, but that's like, and agreed. Yes, there's clear, like you can just go take a flight to freaking China, and you're like crazy.
Did I tell the story about how there was a guy who flew first class?
Yeah.
Constantly back and forth between China, and he'd take one server with him every single time, or two servers, check them in and take a first class flight. You buy the server for like $240K here, and you sell it for like $290K there, and you're like $50K richer, and your first class flight is like $5.
Easy.
Yeah.
The people
Lovely
who
to
believe in the
see
Chip
everyone.
Security Act, because NVIDIA's just going to use that as ammo to reduce restrictions, and even though you think idealistically that's not going to happen, that's what's going to happen, is you're going to pass this act, and it's going to be ammo to reduce restrictions in other ways, or not ratchet them up further.
I have a NVIDIA
So-
question for you. So, can they be making, when they were spending all this time making the H20, like, was there not a way for them to, like, was this just a way to keep market share in China, or was that actually like a profit maximizing use of
It's a gross
wafer
profit.
capacity?
So the margins on H20 are lower than on H200 or H100. NVIDIA literally has a higher markup for non-Chinese customers than they do Chinese customers.
Yeah.
Now, obviously, their pricing to value, and the H20 is weaker than an H200, right?
So why are they even doing? I mean, it's
Why are they doing
just
it?
like a
Because they still make a
long-term
lot of
play
fucking
to.
money.
They still make a lot of, like, hey, you too would take $8 billion in a quarter.
But if I turn
Eight-
if I turn those into
They're
H100s,
operating
would I
pro-
not make?
They wouldn't have sold them.
They wouldn't have sold them.
Okay.
Their operating profit from just Q1 was like $5 billion, dude.
Yeah. So just think-
From China sales.
Yeah,
And if they
with-
didn't have to write down a shitload of inventory, Q2 they would have sold like they would have
8 billion.
had like 13 to 15 billion dollars of revenue, and they would have had like 7-8 of fucking operating profit, right? Like,
So and then like, and remember
That's a lot.
that is like larger than the like
Intel's profit for the last decade.
Yes. Well, that's like literally a top 25 S&P 500 company.
Okay, but
Well,
just,
my favorite is that like AirPods alone are a fucking like
Yes, I
top
know.
10 S&P company or some shit.
Yeah. So anyways,
but to be clear, so why could they have not, like, there's not demand out there for H100?
There's not data centers.
There's not data centers and power. Like when you're selling to the world, at some point in time, your TAM is the world, and so like you just lose part of your TAM. You can and it's not, and this is a statement of like there isn't a shortage of making chips like TSMC, like it's not even like the biggest customer. Maybe it is, but closing. No, I don't even think it's closing in on the biggest customer on a wafer basis. So it's just like
I think they'll be biggest customer for sure next year.
For sure.
I gotta look at the models for this.
Anyways, but like they're just like, okay, well we can get more and we can sell more to someone, and it isn't the highest profit margin, but it's like you can't really sell and we've had this like all this work on H100s, like specifically right now, H100s are in this like ridiculous bathtub, like you're going to be underwater if you purchase them. So everyone is waiting for the Bs.
Purchase them and rent them out.
Yeah. And so everyone's just waiting for the Blackwell series, and so NVIDIA's shifting it. They have some, like, it's depreciated, not a completely depreciated supply chain, but like a very cheap supply chain, and you're like, it's just like this thing where it's like you're trying to maximize revenue. Everyone's shifting orders elsewhere. There is a second market. Like, yeah, it's not as profitable, but it is also not a chump. Like, your optimization for maximum gross profit dollars is you should be selling to China as well.
Okay.
NVIDIA's not evil. They're just profit maximizing enterprise, okay?
Yeah.
Fair enough.
Yeah. Which is a good American trait in the Church of Capitalism.
All right, we got 10 more minutes in this booth. We gotta make the most of it.
Okay. We're beatboxing?
Yo, welcome. We on ChinaTalk today.
That's for you, Jordan.
Nice.
Jordan loves beatboxing.
Rude.
That is my favorite. I went to Jordan's birthday, got to see a glimpse into his friends and family. Not that I'm one of his friends, but I got a really great little invitation. It was awesome. And everyone was like, oh yeah, Jordan loves beatboxing. I was like, what?
Yeah.
And not loved beatboxing, like obsessive drive to beatbox. And I love that because now it's just all spent in ChinaTalk. But in another life, he's doing beatbox.
It was like an amazing 8 to 14 ADD substitute.
And who here doesn't have ADD? In this podcast,
actually,
it's John.
So since being in California a lot more now, I constantly overhear people like, oh, I'm ADHD. Oh, I'm autistic. And I'm like, no, I'm neurotypical. I'm mentally stable. Like, what is wrong with you?
I will say, man, you say that, but dog, there was this one meeting we had where I was like, Dylan is the single most ADHD human being I've ever met. Like,
unmedicated though.
Well, no, because there's the Elon tier of you do it and then you take all the drugs to lower whatever your latent attention, which is already degraded by 30 years.
Mm-hmm.
Further. So I think that's truly the next level.
Sure. Okay.
Commitment to the cause.
I just gotta say, I will not hear Dylan slander himself and say he's neurotypical.
No, I'm super mentally stable though. Like you're far less mentally stable.
Whoa, we're talking about stable genius.
Bro, we literally joked about this.
I know.
About this.
Yeah, no, I know. I'm mostly memeing. Anyways, yeah, sorry.
The anxiety is real. Everyone around me at Semi-Analysis has way more anxiety than I do.
Of course you do. You're the boss.
No, but it's about things that aren't worth being anxious about.
I'm with you, man. I don't. The people with the anxiety, I'm just you don't need no one's making you
Okay.
If you're anxious or not, it'll still happen. Just do it.
I do agree with that, but there's sometimes where let's not have this conversation right now. There's sometimes you do have to care about some things, and recently I haven't had
to care about some things, but
I also.
It doesn't help anyone to get anxious about it.
You're healthy now. Worry about that. Now we're not.
There's some context,
Okay.
dude. I can process stress now that I'm healthy.
Okay.
That's
fair.
I could not process stress
Yeah.
until very recently. I'm much happier.
Okay.
Respectfully.
Great.
Yeah.
Wonderful. Can we talk about just the being in person energy? I totally get it.
Yeah.
This is great.
It is this might actually be one of our best podcasts because the banter is pretty solid.
There's just no lag. It's we're just
in the
Yeah.
same. There's no internet issues.
Yeah.
Audio quality's good.
Audio
John,
quality is
John,
almost too
fuck
good.
you, bro. You're not even here.
Yeah, John.
You didn't fly out for this?
Yeah, what? You didn't fly out for this conference? God.
I'm just listening, man. I'm the first to listen to this podcast.
He's actually the first listener of this podcast. There's one.
That's really fucking sad. We have a live audience. Can you give us like a live audience sounds?
Yeah, you want to
like a sitcom? This is a sitcom, John.
Yeah. Oh, that's a pretty weak clap. But okay, let's actually take a question from the audience. John, what do you got for us? 'Cause we have one more content.
To the handsome man
to the handsome man in
over
front.
there.
Yeah, you know, John from New York, age 22. I'm just want to know.
Why do you sound like you're 60, bro?
You sound like you're 65.
Bro,
That
you
was your
sound
Gen Z accent? Like,
You sound like if you took all of Doug's stress about work and Jordan's stress about missing airplane flights and put it into someone for 22 years. That's that voice.
Okay. Okay, but we ragged him before he got his question out. What's your question, Mr.
Shit,
John?
man. I forgot it, man.
Okay.
What do you guys want to do before you leave?
Dude, I'm like catching a train right after this.
I'm
And
gonna
we
sell
also
one
need
ad.
Those drops of. I need that drops of alpha for the actual listeners who have stuck through this.
Oh
whole thing.
yeah. What's the drops of alpha? I only have like something from this conference. I only have one obsession weird thing. It's not.
Pete Hegseth actually good. He like cares about the allies in the Pacific. At least that's like half of the world. I'll take it. Better than caring about none of the allies.
Dang.
Shout out Pete.
Shout out Pete.
There's things
this
that
man
there's
to
things that are high
fill this
alpha that I
man's-
don't want to share, but I guess
Yeah.
like something that AMD's got a big new customer that I'm really happy about.
Whoa, that's extreme alpha. Wow. Jesus Christ. Okay.
Wait, Doug, yesterday I heard someone bought a house. Tell me about this story. Someone told you.
Oh my God! Sorry. So, essentially, love the listeners out there have been told, hey, Fabricated Knowledge knows what he's talking about, great stuff, appreciate the hype. But the best thing I've ever done for sure was the App Lovin' call that I did on yet another value blog, and that
was not a
that was another
Can't
podcast.
believe.
It was like not a semiconductor
Wait,
stock.
you had a separate Substack for
Yeah,
a little
yeah,
bit
for
where
yeah,
you
and
posted this.
actually I gave it to my friend. He still does it. So TLDR, App Lovin', greatest pitch I've ever made. I made a lot of
What's the
money from
company
it. Once upon a time, it's like an ad tech company. It's very sketchy because they make the mobile game apps. They're extremely gamified. You talk about slop, they're like king of slopaverse.
Oh yeah, these are the ones where you can't actually
Sloppy
exit
toppy
out.
stuff.
Yeah, 100%.
Like
Yeah.
there's an X button, you click it and it fucking goes. It's an impression. It's a fucking click through, and you're like, you fucking bastard.
Yeah, so anyways, all in all, this ad company, which owned a lot of their own games, everyone's like, oh, these impressions are all fake. They did this exceedingly ridiculously aggressive compensation thing. Yet another value blog. I talked about it. You can listen to that whole thing. It's pretty good. I pitched it like $13-14 a share. Is a $300 stock right now. And so that's awesome. I made a lot of money. I think my average out was like, my average out's like probably mid 200s, low 200s, something like that. I made a lot of money on calls multiple times, but someone made a lot of money on calls. Like a house in Europe money on calls. Like
Wait,
hey,
that's only like $200,000.
no, like a $2 million like
Oh, like a true villa.
like a villa.
Actually, that's what someone said yesterday. They said
Yeah,
villa. And I'm
I believe if they were a listener, I believe they were a listener. That I have a standing offer for a nice dinner in New York. Appreciate it, but man, does that create some FOMO? Because you know what, that could have been me if I just yeeted my entire life into calls. But here I am. I tell everyone who listens, I do it because of the love of the game. I could have retired, but I'm here because I love the game so much. I don't want to
I
quit.
don't think you could have retired, bro.
Oh, I could have retired. Dude, the 15 to 300 thing in conviction with size, with enough options, you could have retired.
In general, could have retired. Not, like if you had went YOLO'd in.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Sorry.
Yeah.
I thought you meant just generally you could be retired right now.
Yeah. No, I don't think... That's what I'm saying. I do it for the love of the game. What do you think I'm going to do, huh? If I have a lot of free time, all of a sudden I'm going to be like, huh, this is something really interesting. And then all of a sudden I'll be like, maybe I'll start writing about this on the internet. And I was like, oh, maybe... Like, literally, I talk about this with my girlfriend. And she's like, dude, you can't retire. You're just going to be, like, really obsessed with something. And all of a sudden be like, babe, I have to drop my entire life and go do X, Y, Z. And that's probably what will happen. But yeah, App Lovin', I gotta say, I don't have a villa in Europe, and that makes me a little sad. But I do it for the love of the game.
Yeah. I don't know if that per se dinner is going to make you feel better or worse.
I'll always take a free dinner.
Okay.
You gotta hustle, man. It's called cash on cash return, as in I didn't pay for it.
Should we call it there?
Yeah, no, we'll call it there. Thank you for listening to the Transistor Radio ChinaTalk crossover. Once again, live from SCSP. Plus John, our first listener.
And don't cut everything out, Jordan.
Yeah.
Sorry.
The censors. I can feel your censorship. This is ChinaTalk because it's highly censored. You know? It's like it's as if we were talking in China, and then the censors were here. Except for he's also on the podcast.
It's just I'm like PG-13, okay?
Okay, so can you leave the stuff
Is
about
it
us
okay
talking about
to
the
title
censorship
this
at least?
Sloppy toppy.
Yeah. Just throw in some beeps, dude.
All right,
Yeah, throw in a
if you
beep.
want-
Beep.
If you want,
Sloppy.
No, add the beeps. Add the beeps. Jordan, that'll be so good.
Come on. Just every 4 words be like beep beep beep
No, we didn't
beep.
curse that much.
Yeah.
There were like 5 jokes. No, there were like 4 jokes.
Yeah.
All right, I'll see if AI. There's now like an AI feature in my editor where you can just tell it to do things, and so if I can say put the beeps here and the beeps
Oh,
emerge,
good luck.
then we'll
see.
keep it in.
You should put some beeps
Yeah,
in.
it's tough for Jordan to have a full-time video editor or podcast editor now that USAID cut his funding.
I'm open for business. What can I say?
Yeah.
Sign the letter.
Yeah.
DM me. Save
Why
science.
why don't you do ChinaTalk podcast ads?
What? People need to buy the ads.
He's selling. That's what he said.
I'm selling
some-
ads.
he's
I'm trying to
some
sell ads.
Buy the accelerator model, buy the data center model, buy the AITCO model, buy core
John's
research.
fucking
analysis.
Patreon.
Oh, John's Patreon.
Oh, John's Patreon. Yeah. We should have a special interest too.
What does that mean?
I don't know. Some charity, probably for autistic people. That's semi-analysis as well, actually.
Wait. One last thing before we sign off. Yesterday, Doug said this, and I was like, wow, this resonates. He's like, semi-analysis is like,
The home for lost toys.
which is like such a good analogy, because like we're all just like lost.
We're lost toys, and we're all beautiful, beautiful toys. A little broken, but pretty good and fun to play with.
Can you imagine the delta of what we've just recorded over the past hour versus whatever the hell else is going to go on in this podcast studio over the next 3 days?
Yeah, they're gonna be like, what do you think? Well, the thing about China and AI is that it's really dangerous, and we need to do something soon. It's like I completely agree.
I'm a 55-year-old congressional staffer, or like I'm a 20-year-old congressional staffer who did poli-sci. Obviously, you can restrict chips to China by just putting the software on them, and I trust NVIDIA to make the software work perfectly, and I trust China's to not be able to crack it. Let's make a bill out of it.
Dylan, okay, so my trip in DC, I'm not joking, that was like the way more interesting conversations. There's like way more boring conversations where they're like, this could impact everything.
Well, the fact that you don't know who Ezra Klein is, Dylan, I think is like, I want to
W,
keep it like that.
W.
This is good for you.
It's good for, I know who he is. I've never primarily or secondarily consumed his content.
Wow.
Yeah. I know that I can just see Jordan's little brain blowing up. But you also don't
You
know.
understand? We've read semiconductor textbooks. Like,
Yeah.
like
I'm trying to think of like
No time for just like.
who would be like the equivalent on my side. There's probably some finance weirdo sicko.
I mean, Matt Levine, not knowing who Matt Levine is.
no,
That's
Matt
like-
Levine is like everyone knows Matt Levine.
Yeah, Matt.
Well, way more people know who Ezra Klein is than know who Matt Levine is.
No shot.
can
Name one notable thing that Ezra Klein has
He
done?
literally got Biden to drop out.
I thought that was his
Wasn't
like
that George
brain
Clooney?
damage.
Well, no, he was the
he's
first
like-
person who was
he's the
screaming
first
about
person
it.
It wasn't the Republicans.
The Republicans? No, the
No,
Republicans.
Republicans probably wouldn't have wanted.
No, they
him
wanna
to
keep
stay
him in.
Yeah.
No, I thought they were constantly like Biden can't run. He's mentally unfit.
Yeah, and then once he did the debate, they want him to stay in. They're like, like the people voted for Biden. They didn't vote for Kamala in the primary.
So Ezra Klein is some liberal left wing. Sorry.
He founded Vox. He
Isn't Vox dead? He fucking sucks.
Yeah, no, he got out while the getting was good. He sold his shares, or maybe he didn't sell his shares. I don't know.
Okay,
Vox
so-
is like still alive, which is I'm happy for them.
The
Well-
YouTube channel is fine.
I literally haven't consumed Vox either.
Okay.
I've just like truly just completely hands up. I just don't consume
It's
that.
showed up in
This
my YouTube
after
recs.
conversation can be just as good as our regular conversation. Is this still recording?
Yeah, I hope
Yeah.
so.
Yeah.
Yeah, we're still cooking, dude. This is the after show, actually. Welcome to the after
Yeah.
show.
What is life as an educated person who doesn't consume Ezra Klein? I don't think I know. Like, there's
Dude, I
Wow.
read books and I learn about finance. You want to know my
Dude,
obsessions
I
right now?
work on useful
Yeah,
shit.
work on like your semiconductor
What is the
stuff.
point in reading about politics shit? Like,
Do you know
it's
anything
like a waste
about
of time most
do
of
you
the time.
disaggregated whatchamacallit?
Prefill?
Prefill, yeah. I'm learning about that right now. I'm learning about SMRs. I'm learning about like defense funding in Europe or crap. I'm learning about like 3D printed crap. I'm learning about some printer thing.
I don't know, but some people got to save
used
the
to think
immigrants. You
Rheinmetall's
can't
still
save the
Taking a
immigrants
glass
with
blowing
that.
class. Like, come on, bro. Like,
Oh, Rheinmetall? Is that what I just heard? Is that EU defense?
Yeah, Rheinmetall. Yeah, I bought a bunch of Rheinmetall.
It probably
Oh,
works.
you're really late to this.
Yeah, a little bit. I mean, I was a little early to this one. Everyone's like, oh, isn't Europe spending going to go down when the war ends? And I'm like, it's a low percent of GDP. Honestly, John, I personally really like the Japanese guys now. 7011, 7012, 7013.
What is this?
Those are the...
Wait, first of all, why are all the tickers incrementally +1?
So, Jay, I have, okay, actually, want to know one of my things I did? There's a Japanese company handbook, and I read it, like, maybe 75% of it. So, you know, you read through them, and you know the tickers, but actually there was originally supposed to be order from the thousands to the 9,000s.
Oh, it's like NAIC codes.
Yes.
Wow.
But
Jordan, do you know NAIC codes off the top of your head? Yeah, you fucking read Ezra Klein. Obviously you don't.
yeah. I actually don't know any. Actually, I know a few of them. That's just a little fucked up. But okay. So there was originally supposed to be order. Okay, the ones are actually builders, but then all of a sudden there's like a builder software company, and then they're like, this is a building company that pivoted to whatever. The twos I think are like food and retail. The threes I think are like materials, like just general like coal stuff. But yeah, anyways, there's like order to all this. But yeah,
Then they
that's,
all became conglomerates.
yeah,
and then one part of the company
exactly.
succeeded,
And so
like,
there'll be like little like streaks where like all the sevens are heavy industry, like these like maybe 100 companies in a row, and then it goes back to like a farming company. Like it's really weird and
That's really
spastastic.
funny.
But you could see in the beginning how
so
the order
So the
began.
defense companies 701, 702, 703, or
Yeah.
whatever the heck.
Yeah, yeah.
7701.
yeah.
2, 3. What do they do?
One is Mitsubishi Heavy Industry, so they also make turbines. But they also do the missiles. And they also do a lot of missiles. And then number 2 is a heavy shipbuilding LNG company, but they also have some of the engine parts for GE. And then number 3, which is my favorite, 7013, it does some nuclear crap, loses a crap ton of money on another business. And then on top of that, they also do shipbuilding. But the thing that's more interesting is like 50% of the revenue makes negative profit, and they gave the commitment to quit. They're like, I'm out.
What is that business?
Oh, dude, they're like all over the world, the random stuff. There's like an agriculture business in there. I don't even know. Like I was explaining, it was like it's
My favorite stock. I don't know what half the company does.
No,
Favorite
this is the
stock.
Japanese thing is like they just like didn't care about profit for decades.
100%. And so what happens is they have this giant conglomerate that makes no money. But if you sell, like the math is really great. If you sell or stop making no money, you make a lot of money. Like that's it. And they actually said we're gonna sell and stop making no
I
money.
really like 1 and 2. 3 is like whatever. Like that's a finance bro pitch. But
Yeah.
1 and 2 are like, damn.
No, but they also do, and then, yeah, there's like missiles and shipbuilding, and Japan's like rearming, and they're also selling their stuff to other people. And there's another company in Korea, Hanwha, that does rearmament.
Hanwha does rearmament and TCB bonders?
Yes. It's
Bro.
but these are two different
The
companies.
synergies.
There's two different companies within like the Hanwha. Like, you know,
Like the ticker is 1, though.
no, it's two different companies.
No,
They're
no,
two
it's like
different.
a chable. It's like a chable.
It's a chable. So they're
There
like
was a chable. Yeah.
yeah, there's like a Sam. It's like the
yeah, Korean
Samsung.
companies.
It's like the Samsung
Also, you don't make
family.
money in the Korean market. So
Yeah,
Like,
yeah. Korean markets are not a scam, but who knows? Okay.
Oh,
Close to it.
Mitsui book. You gotta pitch that.
Dude, the Mitsui book, man. I really enjoyed the first half, and I just kind of ran out of steam.
That's fine. It actually got.
I know you were like all stoked about it, but I like ancient business because like the new business stuff, I'm like, okay, whatever, fine. I like kind of see how this
Yeah,
works.
no. I think by 1900, it sort of.
Yeah, by
Because then
19
it's just like, yeah, they were like criminals and like killed a lot of Chinese people. Like,
Yeah, they
of
did-
course they were.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah, it's like, oh, crazy. I'm more interested in like ancient business. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Like they're talking about how like they had a giant reorganization of this business in like the 1800s where they're like, we have to scale out from one family into many family. And then they like all made P&Ls and all this kind of stuff. And then they actually like the concept of professional management and like accounting. That was really interesting to me.
Yeah.
Because like that's like ancient business, like as far as I have no viewpoint into ancient business. Like there's no annual report about how to run a business from the 1700s, and that's as good as I got, and I really enjoyed that part of it.
Yeah, and the whole like trust thing about like how you hire the managers, which are all sort of like children or married into the families, and then you like adopt the good ones to like become sons, even if they marry your daughters. I mean, it's this fascinating like.
Dude, that's like I'm sure you can talk.
Wait, are we talking about caste systems? I zoned out.
Jesus. No, we're talking about the.
No, there were castes because they were they were
samurai,
like fallen samurai.
Yeah, no, they quit.
like
They quit being samurai because they literally. One dude was like, I see that the future of like war is through business. And so he like quit his samurai thing and became. But then also on top of that, they like literally like funded the Tokugawa thing, right? Like
that was awesome.
Yeah, they were like the banker that pushed it through. Like whenever they're like resettling all the debts, they essentially were like the one that got to do the consolidation / ended up being the. Yeah, no, it's really cool. It's like very banker / I don't know. It was. I really enjoyed the ancient business part of it, but the more modern it became, the more I was like, yeah, this is boring. I don't care what like one random insurance from like a fire or like I don't know.
Yeah. Shout out Mitsui Empire.
Yeah.
Check out the book. It's great.
And if you go to Japan, Mitsui's everywhere.
It's much better
you
than
see
Ezra
the
Klein.
sign.
Yeah.
You're
What?
right. It's better than Ezra Klein. This book's way better than Ezra Klein.
Yeah. See, like, dude, this is your intellectual
I'm never
brain
gonna
rot.
read anything about
Well,
this
he
guy.
kind
I'm
of
just gonna
broke.
hate on him.
Well, he was on my show and he kind of broke my heart. I don't
Wait,
know.
Ezra Klein came on your show?
Yeah.
Holy shit, you had guests less relevant than us.
You're welcome.
Dude, I'm gonna hate on this guy so much and never consume his content. It is gonna be a part of the brand.
I am so here for the Ezra Klein Dylan Patel
Also,
beef.
I was gonna say, I hope there's beef and Ezra gets really into it, and Dylan's like, "Who are you?"
I don't think about you at all.
Oh, yeah.
I'm pretty sure neither of us would think about each other because I focus on industries that matter, and he focuses on, I'm not sure.
Lib feelings. I think that's his main.
Dude, there was
line.
what's that
There's a
guy's
big
name?
market for
Bill
lib
Mayer or
feelings.
whatever. What's his name?
Yeah. Bill Maher.
Bill Maher, the TV guy.
Yeah.
I saw a video of him. It was pretty banger. Like, apparently, left-wing people think that the Palestinian flag is a symbol of freedom. I was shocked. I mean, not that like I think Palestine shouldn't be like genocided, obviously, but like also like
Yeah. I'm gonna.
Yeah.
I gotta.
You gotta edit this out. You
No,
gotta
no,
edit
no,
this
no,
out.
no, no. I was in Tel Aviv earlier this month. I'm writing a write-up. I feel like I can't do off the cuff Israel talk, but I can write
Yeah.
Israel.
I also like Israel, just to be clear, all my homies. Look,
Yeah,
No,
I
it's
can
really
feel
tough. It's
Jordan
tough.
tightening.
I
up
got all
here.
this ice on my neck, but
No.
but
No.
it is real, right? All this jewelry's real. It's real.
Oh, I thought you were going way more anti-Semitic with that.
No,
I'll take the puns, Dylan.
It was just
the
an
puns we
Israel,
can do.
like this gold on me is real.
Oh my god. Okay.
Okay.
Honestly, we had like a pretty good podcast there. It was a really good
There was
podcast.
nothing cancelable, right? I gave the most middle of the road take possible.
No, I know, no. It's
Palestine,
more.
Israel.
It's just more about the flow into the splat, and then we're like, see you later. It was nice listening to you on Transistor Radio
and ChinaTalk,
and ChinaTalk.
where it's censored.
Yeah, censorship talk.
All right, I'm pressing the button.
Bye.